Konbanwa. Welcome again. Well, today I actually got to do some shopping here in Misawa and got to see some pretty cool stuff. Some friends that I knew a bit ago who are here actually took me to one of the malls because I don't have a car yet. And that was definitely an experience. The malls here are very, very different from malls in the United States. First of all, the biggest difference is that they're open. Now, malls back in the United States, they actually, you have a doorway, which you can go in and out. Usually has all kinds of metal detectors and stuff like that because, of course, U.S. malls don't trust anybody because there's so many shoplifters. And then you'll probably have some displays in the storefront, and then that's it. Well, malls in, or at least this mall that I went to, is just throws all that out. Basically, there's no walls, there's no doorway, it's just open. Um, which makes it a little bit confusing. Because sometimes it's a little bit hard to actually tell where one store ends and another begins because there's just so much space, and there's not many walls to actually divide up the shops. Although you do kind of get a feeling for it. But the thing that's really nice about it is it actually creates kind of a marketplace sort of feel where you're actually going around and you can just see the stuff that's right there. Uh, it makes it a little bit more personable. Also, just kind of overwhelms you with stuff. It's pretty cool. Uh, I'm gonna guess that the crime rate in Japan is a lot lower. They probably don't have as many problems with shoplifters as the United States does. But then again, etiquette and politeness and things like that are drilled into the Japanese at a very young age. So you really just don't see rude Japanese people, people that just don't follow the rules. Which also brings me to another point. Service. Holy cow. These guys know how to do service. It's always very, very prompt, very, very accurate, very on point, and honestly, yeah, they could teach us a few things, and I'm really thankful that I learned some Japanese before I came because it's saved my butt a few times, but even so, the Japanese waitstaff are, even though they might not speak a lick of English, they're always very willing to try and help. We actually, I had a very interesting experience at the 100 yen store, which basically, if anyone knows the yen to dollar conversion, it's about 100 to 1. So it's basically the dollar store. And I actually found some seaweed that they had on sale, and I was, unfortunately, everything was in kanji or hiragana, katakana, the likes, and uh, I couldn't read any of it. I was seeing pictures, but I couldn't tell exactly what was in it. So I went to one of the store clerks, and sumimasen, which means excuse me, um, kanji wa watashi wa kanji wakarimasen, basically saying I don't understand kanji. I don't understand the written script. So and then just kind of pointed stuff. Wakame, which means wakame is a type of seaweed, and she was able to help me and be like, yes, this is wakame. And eventually, I kind of got into a system where, okay, if I point to this, she would tell me what it said. Um, I'm sure it was a little frustrating on her part, but I really needed to know what they were saying. And I finally, luckily, found this little tidbit, and I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but it actually has little pictures of different sea vegetables with uh, a little tag that says what they are, which I found immensely useful because now I actually know what the kanji are for wakame, kombu. Those are the two major ones that I'm supposed to be eating right now. And so then I started looking at the other ones and actually started, oh, okay, this is kombu. And I was just overjoyed when I was actually able to read something. I was just like, yes, I read some kanji, which may not seem like a big deal, but when you're surrounded by foreign characters and you don't know what any of them say, and then all of a sudden you actually recognize one, it's just this epiphany and you're excited. Uh, in any case, got some stuff there. Also went to an actual grocery store, a big grocery store. We're talking supermarket type thing, and just amazed at the amount of selection and just variety. I really wish that more American supermarkets were like this, and not to mention a lot of stuff that I've been really finding. For those of you that don't know, I've been on kind of a pseudo-Japanese diet, gluten-free, dairy-free, and on pretty much direct doctor's orders to be eating more seaweed for the iodine, the sea salt. And one thing that I really was looking for was seaweed salad. I've been looking for a good recipe for it, but the problem is most sushi bars, they have it in these thin strips that are really palatable, not just these big, mushy strips that kind of have a snot texture. It's a little bit more palatable, but I couldn't find it anywhere in the States. All I could find was the sheet form, which is good in soups and stuff like that, but really not good to eat straight. But I managed to find at the grocery store a little package of seaweed salad. And what's awesome is now that I know the word for wakame, I can actually read right at the top here and say, okay, that's wakame. And I'm assuming that this part here says salad or something like that. So that's awesome, and I'm probably going to start going through the actual ingredients list and starting to learn, okay, this is the word for this. Another thing that I found that I could never find in the States, tobiko. Anyone who has had sushi might recognize this little orange stuff that they like to put on top of rolls, maki. Sometimes actually putting it directly as its own nigiri sushi, where they just pop a little bit of this onto some rice wrapped in nori or seaweed. And this stuff's really good. But I actually managed to find some out here. Tobiko, for those of you that don't know, it's flying fish roe, or actually flying fish eggs. Really tasty stuff. So it's got its own little texture type thing. But yeah, so finding all sorts of fun stuff to eat. I'll probably talk to one of my coworkers on Monday who's Japanese, and probably run a few things by him, see if I can find out, okay, what is this word, what is that word, and really try and start getting all this hashed out. I definitely need to start learning some kanji, especially the katakana and the hiragana, because that's what a lot of it's based off of. The actual kanji itself, it's going to take a long time to learn. The Japanese are actually expected to know over 2,000 kanji by the time they graduate high school. If you think about it, that's 2,000 characters, each with like minute changes, and that's in addition to the 30 or so each of katakana and hiragana, which are phonetic type scripts. So if you think about it, that's a lot of characters, and each one has its own uses, its own double uses, and so I definitely need to learn it, but that's gonna take a while. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll hopefully be on again in another day or two with something else.